Ready to get delightfully haunted? Today we're diving into a spooky paper crafting project using the Moody Manor kit from my Paper Craft Socials collection. We're building a haunted house mini album or a tag flip, depending on your style, with layers, pockets, and just the right amount of creepy charm. Grab your glue, grab your snacks, and let's craft something wicked together. Hey everybody, it's Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts. Happy Friday afternoon. I am a little bit late, but super excited to be bringing you this project. Have been having fun with it already this morning. Give me 1 second because whenever I am live, I always like to make sure that I can see the comments just in case, and I can't see them here. And I'm not going to be looking here. So I am going to put my phone where I can see it. I'm going to turn my volume down so I don't get that. And then we're going to get started here super quick. Thanks for being here this afternoon. I hope you all are having a good Friday so far. I think Friday afternoons are going to be kind of my jam for going live. So I am going to change my view here because you all don't need to see me. You just need to see my workspace. And I'm going to show you what we're going to be working with, and then we're going to get going. So is this the whole thing? Yes. So this is the Twilight Manor kit from Paper Craft Socials. You can find this on my website. It's girlfridaycrafts.com, and there's a tab at the top for Paper Craft Socials. So you can look there, and I'll talk more about this as we go through. And we've got everything we need here. All of the design elements are here in your kit. And this is what we are going to be putting together today. So I wanted to print off a version of the whole thing so that I can show you what it looks like as I am cutting things up. I've already done a little bit of cutting. I'm going to put this one to the side. So we're going to be using that. And I have some ribbon. I have a couple pair of scissors, different sizes. I have my ink dauber and some inks. We're going to be using those. Where did I put those? Oh, they're right in front of me. I have different kinds of glue. I have my Tombow glue stick. I'm really liking these. And then we're going to get out of this little bag here my Tombow liquid glue. And I'm going to show you all what it is about this that I like so much. This has 2 different kinds of tips on it. There's a brush tip at the bottom and then a pen tip at the top. So I like to have both the glue stick and that available. I have my bone folder. I have some embellishments. I have my hole punch. And I think that's everything. I think. We'll see. We'll see how many times over the course of this live I have to get up and grab something that I didn't think to grab ahead of time. Maybe we'll keep track. And I'm also already thinking that what I'm going to do is we're going to do this in 2 parts. So I'm going to put most of it together today and show you how it all comes together. And then next week I'll come back and we'll do some embellishing because I've already been thinking about different things that I want to do in terms of the embellishments, and some of it I don't have. Some of it I don't have pulled out because I thought about it at the last minute. And some of it I'm not sure that we will actually have time for today. So that's what I'm thinking. So y'all have to let me know kind of what you think about that, and we'll see how far we get. So the first thing we're going to do is put together the cover. So I'm going to show you what this looks like in the kit itself so you have some frame of reference for what I'm talking about here. So the first 3 pages of your kit are going to look like this. This is just the cover. And then your first page is going to look like this. And your second page is going to look like this. So when I said this is just cover, this is the kit cover page. These 2 pages are the cover of our little mini album. So those are where we're starting. And I already did quite a bit of cutting here because I didn't want you to have cutting. Watching me cut on a live is about akin to watching me paint. I do have a couple of little pieces to trim up here real quick, just to get all this ready to go. So your first step is going to be to cut this out of your kit. You want to make sure that you leave your tabs on. You don't want to cut any of your tabs off. So when you cut it out, it should look like this. And then I need to get in here a little bit around the top of the house. Easier to do this once I cut away some of that excess paper. Ooh, I also need my X-Acto knife, and I will show you why. And I need my double-sided tape. Well, I don't need double-sided tape. I just need regular tape. And I will show you all why, because it is just the cutest element for this particular project. So let me know in the comments here how you all are. First of all, how you all are doing this Friday. Second, are we in Halloween mode? Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna just. Ooh, that did not sound good. Adjust my camera just a bit. There we go. Are we in Halloween mode? Are we still in summer mode? Are we in fall mode, but maybe not Halloween yet? I am finding myself full on Halloween. I am ready for long sleeves, and I am ready. I feel like I'm going to be super into decorating for Halloween this year. So I'm already trying to figure out, I've been wanting to make a witch circle for around our tree. Started on it last year, didn't get it done. So I was thinking last night, I need to look at the calendar and sit down and map out when I could do that. Because I think I have everything I need except for I need a couple more styrofoam balls, which, by the way, y'all, when did that get so expensive? When did styrofoam balls get so expensive? I went to buy them last year and I was just a little blown away. So I only bought a couple because it would have been super expensive. All right, so we're going to get out my X-Acto knife. So I will put a link to this kit in the video. I love this thing. I finally broke down and bought something with a good handle, a good case, with multiple just little X-Acto pins. And then this thing right here has multiple blades, which I actually don't think I need this. This might be a little much. I think this right here is probably gonna be sufficient. But obviously we have to be super careful. It's all fun and games till somebody gets hurt. Put these back. The X-Acto knife I had did not have a cover on it. And so whenever I went to use it, I always was afraid that I was going to cut myself. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to cut out these 2 windows so that they will open up. And what we're going to put in those two windows, let me flip through here and find it, are these right here. So it's on, there's 20 pages in this kit. So this is page 19, and it actually says window peaks. So these two little pieces are designed to go in these windows. And you could do whatever you want. You could do this window here, I think, or these two windows. Really, I think whatever you want would be fine. So we're going to take my X-Acto knife, and I have a self-healing mat here, so I'm not hurting anything. Of course, you want to make sure you only cut on 3 sides. You don't want to cut this completely off because you want it to open and close. We have another one of these kits that it's a truck, and it has dogs that are sitting inside the truck, and the truck door opens, and when you open the truck door, you can put it so the dogs are sitting right there. So stinking cute. Let's see. I kind of want my other window peak to be this one up here. So we're going to see if I can make that work. Just going to do the outer edge. I feel like I went crooked there. You could also sort of trace on the back of this in pencil so that you have an actual line to follow instead of just winging it like I'm doing right here. Cut over just a little more. Okay. Oops. I'm going to use my bone folder to do that. And I cut a little wonky there. That's okay, because you won't really be able to tell. Okay, so we're going to put this away. No loose blades floating around. I will put a link to this this kit in the video description. Very handy though. Okay, so we're going to cut these window peaks out first, and we're going to get these done. Because what's going to happen when we do the cover is there is an inside to this cover. So if we don't get these little window peaks in there now, we won't be able to do it. Now this, of course, is optional. You do not have to do this. They are just there if you want to. So but I did want to make sure to show you this step just in case. And then they fit, they're both about the same size. So they should fit in either window, especially depending upon, you know, how much of it you really want to be able to see. Okay. So you've got these two. And so we're going to put this little ghost reading with the cat on the bed up in that one up there. And then we're going to put the ghost and the cat drinking their little milkshake in that window right there. Isn't that the cutest? I think that's just so cute. Okay, so I'm going to get my Scotch tape out here, and I'm going to make a note to myself. To remember So what you can do is, probably didn't make that quite long enough, is just take your tape and put it on the back of your window peak. And then turn your cover so that it fits. Now I'm going to need to make this one a little bit thinner. I need to trim it just a smidge because it's really designed to go in this window right here. But you know, I like to be different. So to make it fit in that window where it's not sticking out in the edge on the cover there, I had to trim it down just a little bit. Okay, hold that up so you can see that we got that in there. And then we're going to take this one and do the same thing. I'm going to turn it over, get a little bit more tape this time. And we're just going to come here and line that up a little bit. And that is, if you flip it over, you can see that it's very crooked, not that it really matters. As long as it looks straight on this side, that's about as much to do with my cutting as it is anything else. There we go. Okay. And then put your tape down. So now you have your little window peaks done. Okay. So there's that. And then I have this cut out as well. And then what you're going to do, so this is the front of the album, and this is going to be the back. And this is going to be the part that folds around for a closure. So what we're going to do is, and I use glue stick for this, you can use your liquid glue if you want to, that's fine. You're going to put your glue there. And you're going to line your edges up. And push this down like that. We've got a little more gluing to do, so while we do that, those pieces will dry. And so what we're going to do next is all of these tabs and folds, we're going to fold in. So what I like to do, you do not have to do this, completely up to you, but I like to take my bone folder and just go along these edges. It's not perfect. And I have a like a scoring mat sitting in my Amazon cart. So if you have one of those, you could lay this down on that. If you do not have a bone folder, you can use a ruler, like a metal ruler up against these edges is really great for this. You can use the edge of a table. When you fold them in, you could just use a pencil or even you have a larger paintbrush, the wide end of a paintbrush will work just fine too. I like to do that just because I feel like it makes it easier for me to then start folding all these inside, right? And then use my bone folder. And I get a good fold before I start to glue as well. Again, that is completely personal choice. Absolutely not at all necessary. For me, it helps once I get things glued, it helps it just all fold in easier. But I do enough of these in doing my tutorials and things like that for the Papercraft Socials kits that I feel like that scoring mat would be very beneficial. Getting this all picked up. Here is a whole different story. I'll make sure that I can see. I think I just closed my live chat and I didn't mean to do that. So if you are here and you have a comment and I miss you, please know that I will come back later and get back to you. Or if you have a question, I can bring it up over here on my computer too. Okay, so I have everything all folded down and now we're just going to glue. I am going to momentary pause as I overthink this completely. But I had my live chat open and I feel like I accidentally closed it. So I just pulled it up on my computer just in case, so I can occasionally hop over there and look at that. Okay. So now we're just going to glue all of these tabs down. And again, glue stick or liquid glue is entirely up to you. Both work equally well here. I tend to use a glue stick when I'm teaching because it goes a little bit faster. And I also am less likely to get excess glue everywhere. I'm a little messy with liquid glue. Okay, so that's all those. And then I'm going to get these in the top down and then we'll do these. This here. And this here. I can't believe it's August 1st. That's a whole different conversation. Which, you know, I mean, again, I'm like sitting here doing a Halloween project, so. But it was, well, like we were just on vacation in June, like a week ago. I'm going to do that. Okay, so now all of this is glued together, right? So here's our little front cover, little windows, and then we're gonna put a cover over this so you don't see this on the inside. But before we do that, I like to fold everything the way it's supposed to go. I think, again, just for me, makes it easier when the time comes to fold it all after the inside cover is put in there. So again, you don't have to do this. You can wait until everything's put together. But if you want to fold it, you're going to fold right there. And then you're going to fold right there on either side of this. It looks like this. And then we're going to fold this in like that. And this right here. Fold in like that. Because when we're done, this comes around and makes our closure. And also, I find that folding before I put the cover on helps me catch where maybe like right there I didn't get enough glue. So then I will go and I'll take my liquid glue because I've got this nice precision tip and put some of that in there. Everything else seems to be glued down pretty well. So I think we're good there. All right. So then the next sheet in your kit, so this is going to be, if you include the just cover of the kit, is going to be page 4. It's going to look like this. And it's going to say inside cover at the top. And you will cut this out, but not down to size. Just cut off the top here. Around the outer edges, you can do that or cut it off. That is completely personal preference. That is a design choice. I've cut it off. And what you're going to do is you're going to lay it down. You're going to start at the outer edge here. And you're going to lay it down, and it's going to go all the way up to this fold. So it's not going to cover this right here. It's the same kind of paper. Go right there. Now, then we're going to trim it down once all that's cut. So I am going to, and this is why we put our window piece in first, because now we're going to cover those up. So I'm going to go over all of this with my glue stick. Because again, if you have places where you didn't get enough glue down, you can't go back over that with your liquid glue and get it cut. Line this up and push down. All right, it's warm in here. Turn my fan on. Okay, so once you've done that, flip it back over. This is what it looks like. And then you are going to trim this down to size. So this is a little tricky. This is, if you're comfortable with an X-Acto knife, that might be good. I'm going to use my scissors. So these are these nice small what are these called? Well, these aren't really fussy cut scissors. These came with my fabric scissors. Fabric scissors came in a set of 2. And these were with my fabric scissors. I've started to use these for these projects because they are nice and small and I can get into those areas. I will clean that up with my X-Acto knife. I don't have a pair. The ones that I use when I'm teaching classes and the ones that I recommend are really, really really great. I can't remember the name now. Could be. No, that's our step. Um, they're black and yellow. So there is B and C. EK tools, something like that, but they're really great. They're nice and small. And they're good for getting into these like tight corners that you're going to cut when you're doing kits like this. They're nice. They're they're easy to transport. They are small enough that you can take them and carry on the airplane. Because they have the smaller. I'm gonna have to do that down. Now, this is also why having some distress ink comes in handy, because if you like me and you just don't really care that much about making a fussy cut absolutely perfect, distress ink is wonderful for covering up any white that you can still see after you've gotten this down. Or also any areas where your folds might be a little bit uneven. So like I've got one of those down there. So we're going to cover that. Sometimes you got to cut away the excess paper though, to get in corners. And like I said, if you're comfortable with an X-Acto blade or craft blade, which I actually think I'm going to pull this out real quick to do this. This is where my husband freaks out. He does not like watching me use these kinds of tools. It's going to come along here. Make sure I am, excuse me. There we go. So I think that is about all I'm going to do. Maybe that right there to try to clean this up, because that's what distress ink is for. Thank you, Tim Holtz. Put that away. So I would love to know in the comments, if you're watching in the chat, an avid paper crafter or new to paper crafting. If you are an avid paper crafter, what type of paper crafting do you do? Card making, scrapbooking? Are you a junk journaler? Do you do all the things like many of us do? I just like to know what people, how people like to demonstrate their crafting skills, or utilize their crafting skills. Okay, so we got those glued down. I'm going to take my ink, and I really need to label my Sorry, that's squeaky. The black ones. I like this one. I like this one for my daughters, but I need to label it or put them in here in some semblance of order. So that when I need to find the color, I can. There we go. That's there. And we're just going to use the black soot. A little bit of that. I'm just going to come along these edges here. You can also use a black marker. Black pen. Black paint. Whatever you want to do. And you certainly don't have to do black. Here you can use any kind of color you want. We use a little bit of purple in some places on this one. And some orange would look cute on the front of this here because you've got that orange in the pumpkins. So definitely one thing that I have to remind myself to do when I'm working on this, on these things, when I'm stage, when I cut out my elements that I want to use for the embellishments, I have to remember to ink them before I glue them down. I have a tendency to just get started with the glue and I forget to do any inking. So right here is where I was talking about earlier, where my fold's not quite right. Make sure. Right there, where you can see the purple, where my fold's not quite right. So I'm just going to take my ink over that. Well, not even. And we're just going to come around on the outer edge of this. And then what I will probably do when I'm done is in some of the little places, like right there, I will probably take a black Sharpie. I was looking for one point in time. I had some metallic markers. I had a really cool black metallic marker. And I can't find them. So I have a feeling that it was one of those things that I hadn't used in a while. And so they and that's okay. Sharpie will work just fine. Fold that down. And I'm going to fold that down. Oops, that came unglued. It's like I wonder if I didn't get glue right there. May not have gotten glue right there. Then this is what it will look like. Okay. I'm going to set that off to the side because the next thing we're going to do is our accordion pages. So inside pages of this are a combination of accordion pages and they're not really waterfall. Accordion pages and then a set of signatures. So if you are a junk journaler, you're familiar with that term. If you're not, I don't really know why they're called signatures, to be honest. But a signature is sort of a standalone section inside of a junk journal. something that you could, if you were to take it apart, you could just lift it out and it would be, it, it could be like a little booklet or a journal, you know, its own. So you have 6 of these accordion pages, and I mean, it's not like I have to be done at a certain time, but um, I feel like 45 minutes to an hour is about as much as somebody can watch this and have it still be moderately entertaining. Um, so I'm going to ink this, and I'm going to alternate here between black and purple. So we're going to I'm just going to do all the blacks to have it. Now, I cut these. I will show you what this looks like in the kit earlier. I cut these with my 12-inch paper trimmer earlier. I do prefer to cut them by hand with scissors because I feel like you get a cleaner cut. But I was trying to get some of this cut out before I went live, so I was opting for efficiency. And so you'll see, you know, I've got a little bit of the white still on there. That result of using the paper trimmer, not using scissors. I should have sat last night after we had supper. I should have sat down and cut stuff out of here. I didn't even think about it until this morning. Had it printed, but oh, I need to cut. What do I do? And let's see, I have purple in here. Yeah, there it is. You can use finger daubers if you don't have one of these with the handle, the little finger daubers, which I need to go on my website, FridayCrafts.com. The Paper Craft Socials tab at the top of the website, and it shows all the kits that I currently have available. It shows a couple that will be getting listed. There's actually a whole bunch more that needs to be listed in the coming soon section. But if you go about midway down the page or past the kits, there is a recommended supplies tab. When you click on that, it will take you to a page that has all of the supplies that I use when doing these kits: the scissors, the glues that I like, these daubers and inks, some embellishments. I need to add a few things, and I need to add finger daubers to that. Well, and you can also just use the ink pad itself, especially these small ink pads. You don't have to use a tool like this. The ink pads themselves will work. So that's that, and then that one. Get this inked, and then show you how to put these together and get them in the journal. And then the signature. And like I said, I think what I will do is come back. that's right. Okay, sorry. Come back next week and embellish. We'll get to a little bit of embellishments today because I want to show you some of these colors and things work so that you know. But like I said, I got all kinds of ideas as I was pulling things together today, on some different things to do. So this is, let me pull this, my completed kit out here. This is what the accordion pages look like in your kit. So there's 6 pages. All of them have a little tab here on the right side, except for this last. So really, all of these are interchangeable, except for this, like the last page needs to be the one with no tabs. Other than that, pages 1 through 5 can go in any order. It really just depends on what you prefer, if you have a preference at all. Again, these are to be folded. And so, like we did, if you want to do any of your folding in advance before you start to glue, absolutely do that. You would just fold them over your outer edge, here, lined up to where the tab starts, and that's going to give you a nice fold right in the middle. I'm not going to do that right now, just for the sake of time. I'm also not going to score these right now, but that is what I teach when I teach this in class, doing these kinds of journals, is we do take the time to actually do that ahead of time, because I feel like once everything gets glued down, having done that just makes it a little bit easier to fold. So you're going to put your glue, sorry, I was talking and not explaining what I was doing. You're going to put your glue on that tab, and then you're going to line up one of your flat edges. And then, a little trick here, and I don't know where am I? Perfect. Oh, I can show you this too, because this is a similar kind of album. I can show you what the end product kind of looks like. But little binder clips are very handy, and I actually want to try to find smaller ones, the ones I have. Little binder clips are very handy to put on either side of that. Just puts a little pressure on it to help the glue dry. So we're gonna I got my inking off. That's okay. That does not matter. But like those little bitty teeny tiny baby paper binder clips would be super easy and helpful. I need to actually get more. I taught an in-person class doing a journal like this with just 2 people and myself, and all of us putting one of these together, and I really almost did not have enough binder clips. Paper clips will work too. Anything that's just going to hold those together. So like if you have just come alongside and put it like that. And y'all can't see that. Just put it right there. And a little glue there. Actually, I'm going to make myself a note. I need to get binder clips. So like this size, these little bitty baby ones, like about as big as my finger, my knuckle, are really perfect size. I mean, any size will work, but those take up less space. And then we're gonna glue down this last one. And then we're gonna set this aside. So that is one thing with this. Having a space where you can lay that out is helpful. So this is a similar album. This is the Life the Beach album. The design is the same. So what we're doing with these pages that we just put together is it's going to eventually look like this. You open the journal, it's going to have all these little pages like this. And then it's going to have this signature that is coming unglued. Glue that back. It's going to have the signature section here, which is what we're going to work on next. Real quick, so I don't forget, I'm going to throw some glue on this. Because that should be glued down to that right there. Not put enough glue on this when we were putting it together. This is one that I put together during the class just to be able to show people what. So then your next pages after you have set your pages, after that are going to look like this. So this is going to be, let's see, what page are we on by now? 1, 2, 3, 9. Probably page 10 and 11 are your sort of waterfall or signature pages. And you've got 4 of those. Now again, I've cut mine out, sort of. I'm finished cutting these out real quick. And I may not put all of them in here. But it won't take me long. So if you all will bear with me, I will pour these out. I will ink these later. I'll accept the last one. I will go ahead and ink the last one before I glue it down. But the other ones I can go later because I do want to show you all a couple of things with the embellishments because there's several different kinds of pockets and folders that I want to show you all how to put in here. Also, one particular embellishment idea that I want to show you too. And there's kind of a companion piece to this that I think I have in this bag at my feet here. The Moody Manor. A loaded bag. And it has some similar design elements. And I can show you that so you can kind of see what that looks like. Give you some additional ideas on how to One thing I like about these little scissors. Oh no. What just happened? Hey everybody. No idea what just happened. So hopefully we can get through at least this last little bit without that happening again. I guess we had a little internet outage glitch kind of thing. Maybe that's YouTube's way of telling me, okay, you need to be done now. You've been on long enough. But I did want to at least get this signature in this little booklet so I could show you what that looks like. And then I have actually a couple of the different style pockets put down in that Life's a Beach journal. So we can go through and talk about that. So my apologies. I know I lost a couple of people. So hopefully you'll either find the live again if you were watching and you lost me when we got kicked off. Let me know in the comments here in the live chat if you found me again. I guess I'm probably going to have to pull this down and create a video, like merge the two videos together, which is fine because then I can speed up some of the just me cutting things and stuff like that, make it a little bit easier. But my computer is to my right, so I can kind of see it out of my peripheral vision. And something just sort of flashed, for lack of a better word, and I looked over and StreamYard was telling me that my browser had lost connection to my camera. And so I had to close everything out and refresh, get a new stream going. So here we are. All right. So here we have our waterfall pages or signature pages, whatever you want to call them. There's 4 of them. They stack on top of each other like this with little tabs. And you're going to glue them down. So you don't want to, let me show you what you don't want to do, and I'll tell you why. So we've got our little tabs here, and this is how you connect the pages one to the other. But what you don't want to do is glue the tabs together and lay them on top of each other like that, right? Because if you do that, you won't be able to open the booklet all the way. What you want to do is glue the pages together at the tabs and then bend it. So coming back to this sort of Life's a Beach, that's what we did here. That's why that's pulling up weird like that. I put that over too far. Because here, see, you can open these pages up all the way because they're glued together at the tab. If that makes sense. Hopefully it'll make sense as I'm showing it. Now, I will say that for this, I do think it matters in this particular instance. If you fold first, before you glue, I do think that works much better than trying to glue it all together and then bend it. So we're going to do that here. Use 4. And we're going to bend this, and then we're going to glue these down. I'm going to use my liquid glue here because this is a little bit smaller. It requires a little more precision than the glue stick. Now, the one downside is that this takes a little bit longer to dry. Now, if you use Zip Dry or Stick Fast, I do not like Stick Fast. Stick Fast and I do not have a good relationship. But if you do that, that'll dry a little bit faster. So we're going to put page number 4 inside the tab for page number 3. And then put the glue here. I do have some Zip Dry, and I do like that. I don't know where it is, though. I think it's in my bag because I took it to my class. And Zip Dry is nice because the tip on it, the precision tip on the bottle, is smaller even than this Tombow. So if you have little bitty teeny tiny pieces, it's nice to, it works well to get those pieces glued down. Now, I'm not being quite as careful with my glue or exact with my glue as I would be if this wasn't just sort of a demonstration project. So when I make one in the future to use or to gift or to donate or anything like that, I'll obviously make sure that I'm getting everything glued really well and all of that. Although at the end of the day, it all works out just fine. Now what you can do, and what we probably will do here real quick, is I'm going to take a couple of my binder clips and we're going to clip that so that holds. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to get our accordion pages back. And we're going to take our binder clips off. Everything is nice and glued down now. If you find that you, as we bend here, if you find that you have any spots, that are coming unglued, then you can just take your glue stick or your liquid glue and touch that up real quick. And so what we're going to do is at the intersection of the tabs, we're going to fold. And I'm going to do it this way because it'll be a little bit easier to see. We're going to take this and we're just going to fold it over like that. I'm starting from the last page and working my way in. And we're going to flip it over. Do I want to flip it over? Yeah. This is why, honestly, I like to have these folded ahead of time, because I think it makes it easier when you have this whole long, almost snake-like piece that you're trying to work with, to have all these pages sort of already bent, because then you kind of know what you're doing. And now we need to fold here. And this is where you'll figure out if you need to use any additional glue, is when you're kind of folding at these seams. That's what they're called. Like, there's a word for this. Now, I get everything folded first. If I need to go back and glue, I will do that later. And then we're going to fold here. This is another seam. And then we're going to fold here. And again, you can use your bone folder to get your creases. And fold here. Gets a little bit easier to work with as you kind of go farther down. A little less paper to contend with as you go. And then you can start to kind of like flip it over if you want to. I need to see this side. I don't do a great job flipping it over because I can't quite see exactly where I'm supposed to be bending the pages. Although I can do it this way because then I can kind of see. But I'm going to fold that like that. And then we've got our last little piece here. Right, and then this will fold in like that. Now, I'm a little, it's not perfectly lined up, and that's okay. You can fix that if you want to. Now that you've got your initial folds down, if you need to fix anything, you can do that. So I kind of just did, right? I just kind of mushed it all over this way so that it lines up, and then push down on it. Very technical terms here. Okay, so then we're going to take our cover, and what happens is, again, this is our outside cover. This gets glued down to here, right? And you're going to line it up with the fold as much as you can. So you'll kind of extend it out and then line it up with the fold. So I put the glue on this, not on this, because this is a clearly defined space. I know exactly what I'm gluing here. Here, and if you put the glue on the inside cover, it's a little bit more difficult because you don't know exactly where this page is going to line up. And I use the glue stick here because it's just a little bit easier. And if I try to put this much liquid glue on anything, I'm going to have glue everywhere. I'll pull this over. And again, I'm going to drop this out like that a little bit. And we're going to line this up as much as possible in that fold. And then push it down. So it's not going to be flush with the outer edge. It's going to be just on the inside of that outer edge. So you've got a little bit right there. That's the outer edge of the cover. And so then when it folds, that folds with it. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you're going to do the same thing with this last part of your accordion page, and that's going to glue down to the back cover, to the back of the book. And same thing, you're going to try as much as possible to line it up with that. Actually, does that line up like that better? Does that line up with the fold better? I think that lines up a little bit better if you do it on the outer edge. So this one we're going to do a little bit differently. I'm still sort of tweaking this part to figure out exactly what works. This one you're going to line up with the outer edge. So right here before this binder crease or this spine crease, you're going to line it up there. So we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to put our glue stick and use our glue stick and put our glue down here. And then we're going to take this, and we're going to come over here and line it up as much as possible with that fold right there. And I got it a little bit on the outer, a little bit too far down, but that's okay. Push that down. And then you've got this, and when you open it up, all your cute little pages, and this is what you embellish. So then we're going to go and we're going to grab our signature, our waterfall, which should be pretty well glued right now that we've had the binder clips on it. And this can go anywhere, but because of the weight of it, it's going to go best right here. And you're going to glue this whole back part of it inside this page. So we're going to come along here. Right. And we're going to take this and we're going to put it right inside there, and you're just going to push down on this last little page. Okay, so now you have your little glue. So now you have your little signature pages, and they open up completely flat. I put it in upside. Nope, that's hanging upside down. That's right. So that you can open those up all the way and write on them or add something to them. Okay, so now our book is all put together. So we've got our little window peaks here. You can see inside the little windows. We've got our accordion pages all put down. And then we've got our signature pages. And so now what we do is embellish. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. I'm going to show you all a couple of these different kinds of pockets. And then you all will be done with me for the day. So you have pages and pages and pages of pockets and cards and tags and other kinds of embellishments in this kit. There's more in here than you could ever put in all of these pages. So you have all kinds of things that you could use for other projects or cards or anything like that. So much fun stuff, very cool stuff. I want to show you a couple of things in terms of the envelopes and things like that. So you have this kind of envelope, which cuts out, right? You flip it over to glue it down. So this is the back side that then gets glued down into your journal. These cards are perfectly designed to drop right into that. So you could cut them out and drop all four with additional embellishments on top of them. You've got little holes that you can punch to tie that together with twine. You've got little tags that you could put on it. This is a similar kind of thing, except you're going to glue 3 parts of this envelope down, right? So this is the back of your envelope. You're going to glue this side down into your journal somewhere. And then you have, this is the top flap. This is flap number 3. This is flap 1 and 2. You're going to fold 3 in. You're going to fold 1 and 2 in on top of that and glue all of those together. You're going to leave this one unglued, and you can put Velcro on it to close. You could get an old paper fastener kind of thing to use it to close. And again, these cards are the exact same size as that. Let me find one of the Life's a Beach where I have this already done. Not that one. All of my samples are in different states of completion. So this right here is the exact same kind of envelope as that right there. And so it opens up like that. I have a little Velcro closure on it, and it's got a little card. I got a little overly ambitious with the glue. Probably didn't have the glue completely dry when I put the card down in there because I was doing this in a class. But this little card glued down in there. I'll get it out of there. This card, similar to these right here, is designed to fit right down inside that pocket. So that is the same kind of style there. These are little pockets to just put in the journal, kind of like this. Got a couple of different sizes. This one's a little bit smaller, but you do have smaller ones in here where you could layer them. So there's one of the smaller ones that you could layer. Oh, maybe we don't have smaller ones in here. I don't think we have smaller ones in here. Sorry, I take that back. And then you've got all kinds of journaling boxes. And this goes on. This is to be layered though. So this one gets cut out and glued to a page. And then this one, you fold in the tabs and glue on top of it. These are the same kind of thing, so that you have kind of double layers, and you have all these kinds of embellishments to go on top of it. So let me do one more thing if I have it in here. Yes. This is the sort of companion piece. This is, so this one is Twilight Manor, right? And then this is called Moody Manor, and this is just a loaded tag. And there are some similar elements in here. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you all about was skeleton key, because you have in the Twilight Manor kit a tag like that where you have the room key. So if you have any skeleton keys, real ones, or ones that you've gotten for scrapbooking or anything like that, I think that looks super cute on that. And I have a second key that I'm going to add to this little guy right here. But again, similarly, you have little cards like this one in this Moody Manor kit, your journaling boxes. We're going to make a hidden tag, that sort of thing. So what we're going to do is, we're going to finish up. We're going to end this video today. We've got everything put together. So this is the basics, and all of our paper craft socials, accordion, journals go together like this. And then next week, next Friday on my live, we're going to decorate this. So we're going to go through and do some of these embellishments and folders. And we're going to add some of the other pieces that I was telling you earlier, before YouTube so rudely kicked me off my live. The other little kinds of embellishments that I was thinking about, I'll come back and show you. I do have a video on my YouTube channel on putting that Moody Manor tag together. I will drop that in the description and connect these two videos together, but you can check that out to see some of the other elements. And make sure that you come back next Friday, and we will finish putting this this fun little Moody Manor kit together. So thank you all for watching today. Thank you all for dealing with my technical difficulties. And I will see you all again next week. Bye, everybody.